Hi everyone, I'm here to give you a quick demo on QTP, that is Quick Test Professional, which is also known as UFT nowadays, Unified Functional Testing. So this tool is earlier given by Mercury Interactive, and then it got captured, it got overtook by HP, and now it is known as HP's tool. That is why it is famous as HP QTP. There's also a certification with the name of HPQTP, which we can talk about later. And this training will take care of the questions of the automation. So when we talk about the automation, the important point to understand is what actually is the automation. So doing anything with the help of a tool is automation in simple English language. So here also we say tool, but then the tools are nothing but they are the software itself. So it's a kind of a framework actually, which we just have to use and test the software. So, and when we are testing a software with the help of such frameworks, which are automated tools like QTP, then we say that we are into automation. We are doing the automation. So, what I mean is like whenever we talk about testing. So when you talk about testing, the first thing which comes in our mind is, or the first thing which we experience is, we experience testing manually. So when I'm saying manually, it means like, let's say that there is a login window. And let's say that you have to test the functionality of submit for 100 times. Then what you have to do, if you're doing it manually, you have to enter a login name, password and click submit for 100 times, which will be time consuming. And what if the result will come may not be that reliable, because when you are entering the value, you may not enter the correct value. It may not be according to the correct validation, or we may not be able to cover all the scenarios, right? So if you talk about the performance testing particularly, and if we have to do it with the help of manual testing, a lot of human resources are required if in case we are testing it for 100 hits. So what will happen? We need 100 human resources, right? But if the same we are doing with the help of automated tools, there are specific performance testing tools which are available in market. Like HP has given a load runner. There is a load testing tool also. So OpenSTA is another tool. So there are so many testing tools for performance testing. So if you will do it with the help of a tool, then we can create the virtual users and can go for a hit at one time, and then it will give you more accurate result. So the data or the response which we will get, that will be consistent. Whereas if you do the same with the help of manual testing, the result will be inconsistent. So let us understand that what are the advantages of automated testing. I hope that it is very clear to all of you that what may be the advantages of automated testing. So whatever is a disadvantage, definitely the opposite will be the advantage. For example, we said manual testing is time consuming. Obviously here it will save time, because once we'll do it, same example of a login window, we just have to do the actions once, and then we can put that in a loop saying 1 to 100 if it is for first 100, and automatically that loop will work. We'll be able to get the result. With this, it means that we can run the script for multiple times. So it means it is repeatable. The speed will be more, the result which we will get, that will be more speedy. We can modify the program as we have done now. We just will put that in a loop. I'll tell you that later. This may not be understandable at this moment of time, but then later in the slides I'll let you know. And once you will join the training, you'll come to know about it in detail, I should say. So talking about the advantages, the coverage is more, the coverage is fast, the result is reliable. The script which we will get, we can reuse it for the same application, maybe at a multiple times. So that all nutshell is it will save time, particularly in case of regression testing. Again, we will touch base this later in the later slides. So if in case there is no testing, then what? I hope we all know that if there is no testing, it means we will end up giving some product which will be full of defects. If there is no testing, the product will be full of defects and the customer may not come, we may lose the business. So it is important to do testing. Let it be manually, let it be automated. If you do it with the help of automated tools, then obviously it will be more reliable, it will save time. That is the basic crunch of it. Hmm? Now, when we do the testing manually, we all know that when you talk about a manual testing, then we do largely do manual testing with the help of a document which is a test case. I know we can do it even without that. That will be exploratory testing or it can be ad hoc testing. I'm not talking about any one of them, neither the exploratory or the ad hoc testing here. I'm just talking about the manual testing which we do using the process where we create the test case and we execute a test case to test the particular application and we say that we are doing it manually. The important point is once some automated tool is introduced, so the important point is to understand like, okay, I have thousands of test cases. Now, do I need to automate all of them? If not, then which all I should automate? So I need to decide on it. So easiest way to decide on this is please pick the test cases which are required to run on every build, which we say that you pick the test cases which are required for the regression testing, which are required for the sanity testing on every build of the application. This is the first thumb rule. The second is, see, whenever you test an application, you may have to test the application on multiple data. And just imagine if you're doing the testing manually on multiple data, we may miss data, right? Even though the data is there in the test cases, but still, if let's say that you are on a regression cycle, say 10th on the application, so it means that on the 10th build or the 10th time you are doing the regression cycle, so you may become so confident, maybe overconfident, that you may forget to say you may forget to consult the test cases, which happens practices, we should admit that, right? So because of that we may miss some data, right? Whereas it's the same you will do with the help of automated tools. There are various ways to do the testing on multiple databases. See, one of them is you can write down the data in the Excel sheet and you can call the Excel sheet, or we can apply the database checkpoint, we can pick the data from the database and blah blah blah. Again, we'll talk about that in detail once you will come and join the training, because I cannot tell you all that in a demo session. It is just a session of half an hour, just to make you understand that this is what the automation is led and the benefit of automation. So that is what, like, the test which is associated with the multiple data value testing, please pick that test case. So that is the second thumb rule. The third thumb rule is if anything is related to performance testing, specifically related to the load testing or the stress testing, please automate those test cases. And most importantly is the object for which you need the result to the great deal of precision. That means you want the accuracy level should be maximum. So we can pick that because automated tool will give you the maximum precision, which maybe manually we may not be able to achieve, right? So very simple, nutshell conclusion is the regression testing, because it will help you saving time in regression testing. So all those test cases which need more and more repetition, please automate at least those test cases to start with. Whereas once you start with, then you'll understand that we can automate all the test cases. Hmm? So moving forward, uh, we'll have just a quick introduction of QTP, which I already have told you. It is Quick Test Professional, nowadays known as Unified Functional Testing, because this is a tool which is designed for functional testing. So it is also known as functional testing tool. It was way back given by the company which is Mercury Interactive. Then Mercury Interactive got captured by HP, and then HP, I should say, overtook Mercury Interactive. and now the tools are known as HP tools. So Mercury Interactive, they started with WinRunner as a functional testing tool for Windows. That is why they called it as WinRunner. So Win is for Windows-based applications. Then they moved to QTP, that is Quick Test Professional. Then now since it is the HP's tool, so it is known as HP QTP, and nowadays it is also known as Unified Functional Testing Tool. So it is basically important in case of the regression testing, as I've explained you in the previous slide. Wherever we need the repetition of the test, we should automate that, and then we can use that in the regression testing of every build. And QTP is easy to understand. That is why we should pick QTP. I have worked with so many automated tools, and personally, I felt QTP is easy to understand, easy to implement. Even a non-technical person can also, understand what QTP is doing. So you'll be surprised to know even my clients, when I show the results to my clients, they also are able to understand. Oh, okay, this is where the defect is, because I'll show you how it is easy to capture, the result even as a layman. So the latest version of QTP is QTP 12.0. Now there are so many subversions which are coming, like QTP 12.x, I should say. So we'll be doing training on QTP 12.0. So this is what is the introduction of QTP. And salient features is like the QTP is actually developed in a language which is Visual VB script. So the automated script which is generated by QTP is also in a language which is VB script. So we say the scripting language is VB script. Hey, you know what? Please don't get afraid that if you don't know VB script, then you cannot work on QTP. It is not a rocket science. One. Second is there's no need to know VB script in depth and the coding in depth, because it is not a hardcore coding. It's just like the tool where we will get the script, and even though if we have to write the coding, that is the advanced level of QTP, which we can talk later. So, which is the second part of the QTP training, that is the advanced QTP training, and that is known as descriptive programming. So we'll not go into much detail of that, because we are concerned with the first is the QTP training, which will be of roughly around 30 hours, including your practice and all. So it's scripting language is VB script, which is easy to understand. I'll just show you that in the later slide. And QTP will do the testing of the screen of the application under test, and that screen is known as active screen in the QTP's language. So QTP will just record the, I should say, capture the properties of the object in its own way and keep it in the object repository. We'll see that again in the later slide. And the library files it uses is the VB script functions and the subordinates that can be added to the test if required, and it supports all the modern development environment. When I say like that, so these are various environments which are supported by QTP. HTML, DHTML, XML, and there are so many others, because of lack of space I have not covered all. So it supports so many browsers, Mozilla, Internet Explorer, etc. And then the advanced web technologies like JavaScript, ActiveX, and all. We can also do the testing of multimedia technologies, the ERP solutions, including your MySAP, SQL, Oracle, PeopleSoft, and we can do the testing of .NET, and there are many more, like which we can do once you start QTP training. Again, we'll talk about this in detail. Now we are talking about a QTP. The moment you launch QTP, you'll get this screen. This is known as the main screen. So we need to understand the screen so that we can talk in QTP's terminology, and it is uniform throughout the world, and it will make us easy to understand what we are talking, even though we may have to work by virtually located if we are not co-located. So the first one is the menu bar. I hope it is very easy. We know this because this is how it is in all the applications. And second is the toolbar, where we get new, open, save icons. Then the icon where we have record, run, stop, etc. They are known as the test toolbars, because this toolbar is related to testing. Then this area where, like, the QTP will capture the objects on which we have done action to test. That area is known as test pane, and it has two types of views. If you see here, it has the keyword view and the expert view. I'll show you that in detail in the later slide. So by default, QTP will open up the keyword view, and then this area is the active screen, which will show the screen on which we have done the testing, and these are the objects on which we are doing testing. So this is how your main screen will look like. And see, this is what the testing you have done. um, See, when you talk about the toolbars, so these are the important toolbars. Few of the toolbars are not enabled there. So whereas see, the test toolbar I have already shown you, it will contain the buttons which will assist us in the testing process, that is record, stop, etc. There is a debug toolbar with the help of which we can debug our script. And the script, when I say, so to make you understand, I'm skipping up and I'll explain you all that in a while. So this is what is a script, and it is generated by QTP. I'll come to this maybe a little later. Hmm. So there will be an action toolbar. Again, this is one of the I should say feature of the QTP, where we can add actions, we can copy actions, we can do so many other things. So that is the place from where we can do that. There is a test pane. I have already shown you the test pane where the tests are captured. It is in two views, the keyword view and the expert view. And then is a test detail pane, that is the active screen. We already have seen this. And the data table, I have already told you that we can test multiple data, so that is known as actually testing. All that is parameterization is another way. There is a database checkpoint which is separate, which is completely different. So again, once you will come for the training, we can do that in detail, and you'll understand this in detail at that time. So this is a screen which I have skipped. So we'll again come to this screen here. And before coming to that screen, I would like to explain you one thing, that QTP, whenever we talk about, very easy to understand as a base, is a basic understanding of a QTP is, it just work on the basis of, on the principle of record and playback. So what I mean by this is, see, very simple. If we take an example of a cassette player where there's a record option also. So there's a recorder, actually, I should say. So I'm just making it easy to understand. So let's say there's a cassette player and with the record option. So let's say that I have to give lecture at multiple places at an instance in one go. So I personally cannot go to all the places to give the lecture. So what I can do is, I can record my voice, I can record the lecture in cassettes, and I can distribute the cassettes and share the cassettes, and people can run the cassettes, and the public can listen the lecture, right? Whereas to do so, what will be the process? First, prerequisite. I need the blank cassette because I don't want to mix up the things. Second, I will insert the cassette in the cassette player. third, I will just press the record button, right? So the record button is this here in QTP. So I'll press the record button and then I'll start speaking. It means that I will start performing the actions, right? The moment I'll feel that it's over, this will become enabled. The moment you will click here, then I will just click here. It means enough now. I don't want to record anymore. So whatever will get recorded will be like this. This is whatever got recorded. So whatever will get recorded will be there in the cassette. Now the next thing which I have to do it before distributing the cassette is, I would definitely like to play it to see whether whatever I wanted to get recorded, whatever I have spoken, whether that got recorded or not. Or is it that something else got recorded? So for that, what I will do, in case of a cassette player, I'll just rewind it and play it. So to that we say in QTP, play back. Fine. And whatever will come, I will not speak now, I'll be mute. But whatever I will listen, that is my expected result. No, that is actually not. I was just judging you guys. That is actually the actual result. Whatever I have recorded, that was my expected result. Right, guys? So please be active listener. Don't sleep. Hmm? So how my screen or how the QTP will work is, first, what I told you is, we just will click on the record button. Then we'll start performing the actions on whatever the testing we want to do. The moment we want to stop, we'll just click here, and what we will get is, we'll get something like this. We'll get a screen like this. As I told you, by default the view is the keyword view. So we will get the actions. Actually, we'll get the items on which the action is performed by us to do testing. Then the operations which we have performed, the value is set by us, otherwise it will be blank. This will get captured, the QTP will capture this, whatever the actions we are doing between record and stop, QTP will automatically capture it. So this is the keyword view. Since it is in the form of hierarchy, so it is a modularity way, so it is modular way, and it is recorded in the form of iterations. There will be iteration 1, iteration 2, and so on, and these are known as actions. As I told you that we can reuse the action, but again I'll be able to tell you that in details only during the training because the time is constrained here. Now let us understand what is expert view, and then we will come to this part later. So the same is, if you see the expert view, this is nothing but this will be some lines of code which we say as a test script. The collection is known as a test script and is generated in VB script. As I told you that the scripting language is VB script. So if you see the scripting language, it is so easy to understand. Even a layman can understand. What it is showing is, we are testing some web application. So we have opened a browser with the name intranet home, and the testing is done on the page which is with the name intranet home. And what we are doing is, we are entering, set as enter, we are entering this value where in first name. Clear? So first name is the object with the property edit, and we are setting a value. It means we are entering a value. Similarly, if you see this line, the line number 4, it says we have opened a browser intranet home. We are on the page phone list result. There is a hyperlink with the name home, and we are clicking on the hyperlink home. So let us see the same in a keyword view. See here, first name is the item on which the action is performed. We have to set the value, so the operation is set. The value is same as, see here, the value is ix, the value is ix, obviously same will be there. So this is the value which we have entered while recording, please remember. So this is my expected result. Hmm? And this description documentation is given by QTP by itself. So as I've explained you in case of a name, so name is the edit box and we are setting the value. That means set is a method. So this much we need to understand. So this is how it is. And see the objects, these are the objects which are captured by QTP. So these objects are captured by QTP, and how QTP will capture these objects is QTP will capture the properties and the methods of these objects in simple programming language to map this with, and the programming language has the type or a class of an object, and QTP has will represent the same with properties and methods of that application of the object in the application under test, and these objects are known as the test object, and they will be stored in the object repository under object spy. I just will show you the object spy. We'll come to this later. So this is how it is. Object Spy is one of the feature of QTP. So the moment you'll come to Object Spy, so you'll understand, on whatever the objects of the application you have performed action. So it means whatever the action you have performed in between record and stop, those actions will get stored in the form of a script, which will be with the keyword view and the expert view, which I have already shown you. Now the objects like first name, etc., etc., they will get captured in the object spy, and the object spy will capture the properties and the methods of it. So this is one simple example where, like, we just have done some testing on calculate, which was in HTML. So if that is the case, then see this. If you see this, you can see this name, right? So this name may be called as, see in this HTML, this is called as button 1. So this name may be called as button 1 in the coding language, whereas this QTP will recognize this by the name calculate. Okay, so this is how we need to understand. So similarly, there'll be the method attached to it. So what I mean is, going back, what I mean here is that the test objects will QTP will capture the property and the method of this, and it will represent the actual object. And um, see, the moment you will run the script which I have shown you there in the expert view. So if you save the script and you just run the script, so how QTP will work is, in the background, QTP will do nothing. QTP will simply map the runtime object, that is the actual objects on which the testing is done, with the test objects which are stored in the object repository, that is object spy. And if it gets mapped, then it will perform the action on the recorded object. It can, because I'll let you know the reasons, because probably, when you have done the recording, the application was active, but when you are running the script, it is minimized. Then in this case, it will show you error. So that is an error which is with the test script. That is not the defect. I hope we know the difference between error and defect. If not, then why not you join manual testing before QTP? Just kidding, guys. So that's how it is, and I have already told you object spy. And important point here is, guys, see, I told you the script which we will get in the form of a script, or we will get some keyword view. So we can save the script, we can run the script again, we can run it multiple times. That is why we say that it is repeatable. We can take a part of it, we can copy it, but then don't forget to copy the object repository as well at any specific location. So we say it is reusable, blah blah blah. The moment you will just run the script on the actual application under the test, your QTP will give you test result file, automatically will generate the test result file. I just will show you how it looks like. Um, Give me a second. Let me just go to that screen. So this is how the QTP will automatically generate this window, which is the test result window, and it automatically will I should say compare the actual result with the expected result and will analyze the result and will give you the result as pass and fail. Fine. So first, before going into detail of that, let us understand how to read this window. See, this window is read as this is a tree structure, so the test result is in the form of a tree. We can expand this, and this portion of the window, that is the test result detail, where the entire detail is explained here. See, the test is done with the help of recording playback we are doing. It will by default give the name of the result. It is stored in one of the folder. We can go and rename it. I'll let you know that in detail once, again we'll start with this in detail. And it will give you the start time and the end time. As I've already told you, that QTP will store everything in the form of iteration, if you remember in previous slides. So it will give the results also in the form of iterations. And this place where the result is given as the status as pass, fail, or warning means nothing happens, we can proceed, that is known as status summary. So this is how we should read the test result window. Now let us understand, and this I've already explained you, so there's no need to go through it. And this is how your test result will be analyzed by the QTP. So if you see this test result, it is saying that the overall test is for one iteration. It is failed because one of the test was failing. So if you see here, the last name is failed. That is why the iteration is failed. And if even if one of the object is failed, it means the entire test result will be failed. So fail means what? When we are saying the test is fail means that your actual is not same as expected. And whenever the actual is not same as expected, it means a good time for us, a lucky time for us. Whereas we have to now give a bad news, because this is a defect, and defect is a bad news, and we have to give a bad news. Follow your defect life cycle and block the defect and give a bad news to the developer, and this is how the testing is done. And I hope I have explained you the automated testing starting from the scratch. And we also have got the defect, right guys? And that is how you just log it. Enjoy your automation. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience. Hope you have enjoyed the demo, and I'm hoping to see you, and you'll give us the opportunity, to give a training on QTP. Maybe if you're looking for giving the certification exam of QTP, then we cover the questions of certification as well. It is not the plain, simple QTP. So let us work together, help us increasing or updating your knowledge base. Okay, guys, bye everyone. With the intention that I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Thanks.